Well, something really cool has happened for the Grey Wolf RV YouTube channel. But before I get into it and the company that sent over all this product, I want to explain to you, the viewers, exactly what's going on so that there's no confusion. So before I made the RV channel my main focus, previously that was the Grey Wolf Bike channel. And on that channel, I would often make gear reviews for the simple reason and purpose of helping other consumers, just like myself as a consumer, do research to find out someone's first impressions or long-term review or thoughts and feelings on how that product or service worked. And I realized pretty quickly doing those videos that I had to develop a set of ethical standards for any content that I was going to produce. And that was, I would only make a video on something if I liked it. So that is a commitment that I extend over here onto the RV channel. And what's really cool is when I asked the company that sent over everything, how can I give you guys credit? Can I put you in the opening sequence as a sponsor? And they actually said no. The reason being is, and maybe potentially I learned something and now I'm looking at all these other videos on YouTube with, maybe a bit of a different perspective, is they had said if I use the word sponsorship, then that's going to imply that there is an exchange of money. So they have paid me to make the content about their product, even if they've relinquished creative control and aren't pre-approving a video, etc. They wanted you to know that they have just sent this over because they believe in the product so much that there's no strings attached in this video. Everything that I'm going to talk about is absolutely my own thoughts, and I'm going to do my absolute best to share with you the positives and the negatives of everything here. But the fact that it's in this video right now should be your indication that it's really good. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the company in question is Cerakote, and they are a US-based company that actually does their manufacturing in the USA. And if you've watched the channel for any length of time, you know that I personally really prioritize Canadian and United States manufacturing and companies that are based here. So I'm super, super proud to actually say that they are based in North America. They sent over a whole swath of products, including one that's not here because I've already used it all up. Maybe I'll grab the little tester to show you what that looks like. Nevertheless, they sent over their rapid ceramic tire coat and protectant, which includes this like shockingly good quality foam applicator. They sent over their rapid ceramic interior detailer, trim coat, pro ceramic paint, and rapid ceramic platinum. That's a new formula. The rapid ceramic interior detailer and protectant I have used on the inside of Grey Wolf 1 already. And giving the bottle a quick turn, I'll read off kind of the product promises. And it says, Cerakote's rapid ceramic interior detailer cleans and protects your surfaces from UV rays while giving you a new appearance that lasts. And what's really nice about that is when we later drive down long, dusty, dirty roads, and that dust inherently makes it up inside of the vehicle, I won't then have to go through and do like a full decontamination with the steam cleaner. I should be able to just wipe it off and then maybe even just reapply. Speaking of reapply, Cerakote, it's so funny because with exception of one product, they give you so much product, it's insane. I did not only all the plastics, I even did the seats. Now, pro tip, don't do the seats, because as soon as I sat on the driver's seat, I realized the error of my ways. It's in the same sense that they recommend not doing any of your steering wheel, at least the outside. I did like the interior controls and buttons. So yeah, don't do your steering wheel, and don't do your seats unless you want to be sliding around. But I did all of that just because I wanted to try the product on all of the surfaces. I think I used maybe 10% of this, 20% tops of this bottle. There's a ton of product left in here. On the negatives, they do make the claim that it cleans. My personal rating on the actual cleaning properties, I would say are very low. Somewhere between like a 2 to a 3, even saying a 4 might be a bit generous. So I would not look to this for cleaning. The only other negative that I came up with is it says new car smell I personally found it to have more of like an ammonia smell. I can't necessarily say that it was particularly pleasant, but that smell was only during the application phase. I have not found it to have any odor whatsoever after I apply, and that to me I really, really like. I'm not like your Christmas tree hanging in the window kind of guy. I like no smell whatsoever. So for that, yeah, big pro. All right, let's move on. Next up is trim coat. Now, Cerakote was nice enough to send me this professional kit, which included 2 of these microfiber applicators, and there is a good reason for that. And it also has a 4-ounce container, kind of like the interior detailer, but specifically this is designed and formulated for unpainted plastics. Now, I emphasize that because on this truck, there are a lot of unpainted plastics. The entire bed surround, including tailgate, all of my mud flaps times 4, the huge under chin wind deflector spoiler, the bumper covers on the front, did around the fog lights, around the turn mirror stocks, everywhere got this trim coat. And as you can see, I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, I've used 25%. So even on a pickup truck with a ton of unpainted plastic, there is a lot of material here. Now, how does it work? It works phenomenally. In fact, be forewarned, because the trim coat is actually advertised as a permanent coating. It's a permanent product. So once it actually is applied onto the plastics, it's there. Now, what it's meant for, again, is unpainted plastics, but particularly plastics that are a few years old and starting to lose their color. And I'm looking at you, Mr. Propane Cover. Nevertheless, this will absorb into it like nobody's business. You can use, like, when I was applying it, I was applying just little strips down here, and that could get like the whole half of this truck trim. Like, it's insane. That said, pro tip, the reason why they send 2 of these applicators is because this trim product really does a number on the microfiber applicators. So you get 2, and you actually may want to even invest in more. When this applicator is toast, I've already gone through 1, it's in the bin, and yeah, I'll be getting more in the future. The directions do say to apply the product and then polish it off to avoid high spots. And what they mean by high spots actually is, I think I have one right here where it's just like a little extra glossy, and right next to it as well. Because when I was applying it, I had everything prepped in this area, and I think I got a drop and I didn't catch it. But it will end up looking uneven or potentially even blotchy. And so after you apply it, they say take a microfiber towel and then hit it and level off the coating. And when I first read that, I was like, oh, that's probably just like a cheap ploy to get you to use more product. I mean, apply it and then wipe it off, right? I will personally fly to where you are and shake your hand if you apply it and you manage to wipe it off. It soaks in so fast and so hard, it's insane. Yeah, shout out to the trim coat. It is available in a non-pro version, which consists of some wipes. I knew that I had a lot to cover here, and talking to Cerakote, part of this is going to go on to the unpainted plastics on our trailer for the exact same purpose, to restore that color after they've been beat on out here in the sun and UV faded. All right, let's move on. Now, next up is the Cerakote Professional Ceramic Coating product, and it comes in this insanely nice package. And this is the professional version of what we're going to discuss next. It comes in these nice glass bottles, and it includes a microfiber applicator in the package with it. It is intended to go on paint, but ironically, talking to Cerakote, it's really good on a lot of different surfaces. They even recommended using it on like the rubber seals and gaskets that go around like the window trim on our RV trailers, similarly on the tow vehicle, all around the windows. It's really, really good for that. I even tried it on headlights and taillights, but I did get, I would say like 6 out of 10 in terms of results on headlights and taillights. And that's just because paint is inherently a very porous material. Plastics that make up headlights and taillights is very non-porous. So Cerakote does actually have another product, their headlight restoration, which that will actually chemically bond to the plastic, not unlike how the trim coat bonds to the unpainted plastics. Nevertheless, there are 2 main benefits for any paint ceramic product, and that is to increase gloss, so give a nice aesthetic appeal. But the second, as it applies more to us, is to add hydrophobicity, because we're driving up and down these dirt roads in all conditions, driving through puddles, etc. And then when that water dries, it leaves behind all of the dirt. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert a couple of video clips courtesy of Cerakote, where they're actually demonstrating these products, and you can see just how when they're throwing or splashing the water mixed with the dirt onto the vehicle, the coated versus the uncoated, well, the coating sheds it off. So how does the professional coating differ from what we're actually going to use on the trailer, which is the Rapid Ceramic? And yeah, let's talk about that now. So this is actually the product that we're going to be applying to Grey Wolf 2 today, and that is the Platinum, that's the new formula, Rapid Ceramic Paint Sealant. The primary difference between these two products is longevity. So the professional coating is rated to 200 washes, whereas the Rapid Ceramic is rated to 50 washes. Now, why are we using this product on Grey Wolf 2 and this one on Grey Wolf 1? Well, Grey Wolf 1 is our daily driver, so it's going to see a lot more use going up and down the roads Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's only on the weekends, really, that we're using Grey Wolf 2. So over the course of a season, we're going to be washing our trailer many fewer times. In fact, some people, even kind of looking around which trailers come and go from the storage lot here, they might only go out like 3-4 times a year. So with a 50 wash guarantee, that's really consistent with kind of the use case compared to 200 washes for the Cerakote Pro. Taking a look at the product promises, just like the professional, we can see unsurpassed slickness, maximum gloss and shine, and extremely hydrophobic. Now, whereas this uses those glass bottles with the microfiber applicator, included in this is actually a really nice kit. So we have the bottle, the applicator, and the towel. Now, the reason for this kit is because the way that you apply it is you spray it onto your surface, so onto Grey Wolf 2, and then you just polish it off the excess material with this microfiber towel. It is recommended, and the reason why, we're going to jump in the truck here and head out in just a second, that you apply it out of direct sunlight, but for best results, sort of at or above the 20 degrees Celsius range. So it's 19 degrees right now. We've hit the high for today. So let's go over, let's get the Winnebago, aka Grey Wolf 2, all washed up and apply this coating, and yeah, set ourselves up really well for success for this season. All right, let's do it. All right, so next step is we're gonna take it for a drive, because Cerakote specifically recommends that it be perfectly dry and not even any water trapped in any cracks. They say like open and close your doors, try to shake the water out, but it's a trailer. So in the complex next to us, there are a whole lot of speed bumps, and yeah, we're just gonna go drive over a bunch of speed bumps basically. So yeah, let's go do that now. All right, so you join me on the dark side, and that is for a particular reason, is even though the ambient temperature is where we want it, we do not want to apply in direct sunlight, generally speaking. So the way that Cerakote recommends that we apply the product is gently shake for approximately 10 seconds, which we have already done. Oh, I can't speak. Then we're going to apply it directly onto the surface. We're then going to immediately wipe with one side of the rag, flip the rag, and then buff to a shine. So without further ado, yeah, let's get at it. So I'm actually doing like a crosshatch here just to try to ensure even coverage. And then flip. Oh, wow. You can feel it immediately. Holy smokes. Yeah, it has the same sort of consistency as ice. Like ice does have a little bit of friction, but that's incredible. And then actually, we're just gonna come right up here and hit the window frame as well. So I find that it has the same sort of smell as that interior detailer. It's not necessarily a bad smell. So even though I am actually applying it on the trailer here, which is a gel coat, and I even tried it on here, and this is like anodized aluminum, I guess. If it performs anything like how the Pro paint does, it'll probably be great on multiple surfaces. However, this is not a review video. In fact, this is just the beginning, because when I spoke to Cerakote, I told them, I said, look, I'm just gonna beat the heck out of it all year. And I'm gonna drag it up roads, and it's gonna get filthy and power washed and all that stuff. And they pretty well just said, have at it. So yeah, that speaks volumes to me that they have that level of confidence, that they're just like, yep, cool, go use it, and essentially report back. And yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. So I am going to continue on this side here, and then we will hit the tires and the tank cover, and then we'll come back and turn the trailer around and get the other side, assuming we have enough product to do so. So let's do it now. So one thing that was actually really nice was one of the Cerakote employees is actually an RV owner himself. And I was talking about how so many people struggle with like the drip marks from the rubber over time ending up on their gel coat. And there's even dedicated like cleaning products specifically meant to clean off that rubber, or the rubber marks, I should say. And he had a good point. He said, just make sure that this goes on before the rubber marks, implying that it should hopefully serve as a preventative measure from them ever forming in the first place. So yeah, absolutely love that. And it was also really helpful knowing that he understood just how many different types of materials we have: glass, plastic, what is this, anodized aluminum, gel coat, vinyl, sometimes paint, etc. So yeah, this is it's definitely a test, but it's a test that I'm sincerely looking forward to, because I can tell just comparing the areas, you know, there's a certain slickness that this definitely provides. And I see like a really nice gloss to it. So yeah, all good things. Oh, and nose cap. So just like preventing the black drip marks, this stuff, he had actually had a great point, is also going to help. Hey, a little bit of a mic failure. However, the suggestion that he had is that it will actually help prevent the accumulation of bug splatter on the nose cone of the trailer, which, if you've ever driven a trailer in the summer months, then you know how bad that really can be. All right, so I've turned it around. Time to get the stud. Well, I really shouldn't be surprised, but this one bottle has done the entire trailer. I 1000% didn't actually think that this was going to happen. In fact, I even had like a plan of masking off the trailer in sort of a dramatic angle where you could really see it half and half. And I'm like, well, I really don't want to get the material just to do that. So maybe I'll just do the, one side and the other. Yeah, I've got like a third of a bottle left. So much so that I did the rear wheel, the entire rear rack, the bumper, and all the frame along the trailer. Yeah, there's a ton of product, which is why it somewhat surprises me that the glass coat in the consumer version, just like this is the consumer version, the glass coat, you only get 4 actual little towelettes. And on the pickup truck, we have a very small rear glass. It does have a dual pane sunroof, but as do many modern vehicles. We have the 4 side windows and the windshield, but I didn't even do the windshield. So that's what I've saved this one for. So I used 3 packets just doing the exterior of the side 4 windows. So again, if you had like a minivan or an SUV, you'd have the, rear set. We have a small rear glass. And again, if you had an SUV or hatchback, you'd have a much larger glass. So suffice to say, it's somewhat surprising that I can do an entire trailer with a third of the bottle to spare, but I can barely do a pickup truck with the glass coat. So if it was up to me, I would have 6 of these little towelettes in the actual glass coat. And like I said, it's already been done. It's tricky to show you something that's already happened, but suffice it to say, the optical clarity is phenomenal. Oh, I did also do the exterior side view mirrors as well. They're tiny, but still they were done. And I used those 3 towelettes within an inch of their life. However, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our way to the front, and hopefully I'm gonna blow your mind as much as my mind was blown with using that trim coat on the propane cover. So let's go do that now. Let's go do that now. It's been a long day. I've added some trim coat. Remember, this is the professional version that comes with 2 microfiber sponges and a 4-ounce bottle. Where do I want to start? Anywhere, I guess. And check that out. Of course, we're doing this in the shade. Oh, I also want to issue a correction. I had mentioned that the Rapid Ceramic kind of had an ammonia smell. I was wrong. It's vinegar. It smells like vinegar. This has a similar vinegar-esque smell to it as well. I'm going to stop here so don't go too far, and I'm going to come back. We're going to level this off. Again, you can see I'm scrubbing and it is not coming off. That's what I was talking about earlier about, yeah, they're really not asking you to use or trying to trick you or anything like that into using more product. I'm sure there are companies out there that would love to do that, but yeah, this is, we're just knocking down any little kind of extra shiny spots, really. Cerakote calls those high spots. And here's the thing is you can always go back and do multiple coats if you want. If you really are chasing like a super shiny look to it or whatever, then yeah, go for it. But start with the one and then increase from there. Because again, Cerakote says this is a permanent coating. So yeah, I've also seen other consumers making similar videos, and they're getting like 2 to 3 years out of this stuff. All right, well, I can't think of a better end to the day than watching the sun go down. Somehow, it's actually got even warmer despite the cool breeze. But one more benefit of the Rapid Ceramic Paint Sealant is using it on our solar panels. Now, I did discuss this with Cerakote, and because there is no claimed UV resistance, there should be absolutely no impact in terms of the photoreceptors, or whatever they're called in the solar panels, aka their ability to do their job. And as you can see here, they just get dirty over time. And well, they especially get dirty when you're driving down dirt roads and all that stuff. And I don't know if you can see that, but just below the camera, there's a bird has kindly shared with us a deposit, and adding this coating, just like the bug guts on the front nose cap, it's going to make, one, dirt much less likely to stick to it. So just having it parked here, they'll be able to do a much more efficient job at charging the battery. Yeah, let's get to cleaning this off. So as I go ahead and clean these solar panels at the end of what was really an incredible day, I'd like to close this video off by saying this. I can appreciate I threw a lot at you, and more importantly, I can also appreciate if this came across as a bit of a half-hour infomercial. And if it did, please accept my sincere apologies. I actually did think about breaking all the different products up into their respective videos, but I didn't want you to watch weeks on weeks on weeks of me talking about cleaning and maintenance products. So I hope that through this video, I've at least maybe perhaps been able to introduce you to some really honestly cool products to help make your RV experience that much better and to take pride in your truck and trailer. So with that, I say thank you, and we will see you next week in another one. You take care, and bye for now.